Oh wow, that's dirty.
I'm sorry, guys.
So this, I'm sorry, it's late. I was doing my mother's stuff. My mother's going to be out here September 5th, I believe. We don't have a lot of time before she gets here, so we're getting stuff set up. She's made a bunch of stuff because she doesn't have to carry. Morning. Anyway, so my mom's pretty crippled up, and she's had a lot of bad back injuries and had to have several back surgeries. So she's coming out. Yes, she's coming out. So I was talking to my mother. So I'm a little late on the live feed. Take my mother, please. She's coming. So today I have no sharpening. I have stuff coming. But I have no sharpening to do today. So I am going to do, it's probably going to be content heavy. I might do an Instagram live feed. I'm definitely going to finish the last couple videos. I know I told you guys the Voyager video still need to be edited. I went through, so I've never had this happen. So if you guys want to know why I keep saying I'm going to do the video, I'm going to have to reshoot the whole thing. Because I ported all that stuff to the cloud. And the lion's share, the big long section of this video that I shot, is all corrupted, and one of them is upside down, and I can't do anything about it. It wasn't like that before. I thought about editing, and I was like, you know, I don't have time for this. I'll just send all this stuff to the cloud, and I'll pull it back off the cloud, and then I'll edit it. And I thought maybe it was because I was trying to do it right in my editing software instead of pulling it to the device first and all that stuff. What's up, Joshua? So what happened was there's big, like all but about 3 minutes of that video is either upside down or corrupted and all pixelated, and it just looks like I'm standing and you hear me talking and then I move. It's just like, so it looks like stop motion animation, so I'm not happy with it, so I'm gonna reshoot it. But I didn't get any sleep last night. I took a shower this morning. Yesterday was last night was first night that it dipped down. It was like 63, 64 degrees. And I'm like, oh, great, it's cool. But then it just got so damp that it was just uncomfortable. So I didn't get any sleep last night. But that's okay because I was up monitoring Wee's website, trying to see when the stonefish, now, not the sea snake, or not the hornet, it's now the stonefish, had to change it because of the Bestech Hornet. And as a matter of fact, there's several other knives called the Hornet. A lot of you guys gave me good ideas. Boom Slang was a good one my sister came up with. Taipan, a bunch of people said Taipan. People were saying stuff like Wolfsbane, and I was like, venomous. I need something venomous, not something poisonous. And I was like, they're cool names, but they don't go with my thing. I had it in the window. Yeah, it's officially the stonefish. But it is not available yet. I got an email from my friend, not going to say who, not going to put his business out there, but he is a vendor for a major knife sales distributor, and they got the notification. It's not hot. Today's only going to be 72, but it's like, I just looked, it is 93% humidity right now. It is 69 degrees, and I'm sweating like a prostitute in a confessional. So, at any rate, the knives are available to dealers. Blade HQ, Knife Center, some of the others, Smoky Mountain Knife Works, things like that. So I got notification yesterday that they're available for vendors, and I have the stock numbers for it and all that stuff. So I provided that information to Andy over at Nowpack, because I don't know if you guys know this, Nowpack sells knives online and in store. And I like Andy. Andy is one of the greatest guys. I'm trying to get it set up so that we can shoot a video of them making these cases. So if you guys don't know, Nowpack makes the sickest knife cases out there. They're set, you can get the engraving done on laser engraved in the top piece. Like if you want a specific knife company, like say you have a case and there's nothing in it but Striders, you can get them to engrave the Strider logo in the top piece of foam when you open your case. If it's all Ferrum Forge, same thing, Ferrum Forges and stuff like that. The knife that I bought for my father, the NTAC that I bought for my father as a retirement gift was in a case. I bought an actual specific case for the NTAC, and it had the Ferrum Forge logo and all that stuff. Oh, jeez, my back. Jeremy, where are you? I can't remember where you're at. I know we've done. Are you in Texas? Guys, you ready for this? Well, that's sun, North Carolina. Okay. That sun is that's gonna be no good. We're gonna relocate. We're gonna relocate. No, we're not. We're gonna stay right here because I'm drinking my coffee. No, what I was saying is, oh, so I tried. Remember, you guys? I don't know if you guys saw it. I did an Instagram post where I publicized my summer pricing structure from August 1st to the 21st, from the time, basically the whole time the wife and kid were gone. And I tried to promote it. I was going to give Instagram and Facebook $30 to put up an ad posting for me of that video and promote it. And I get this thing back. It says, we're not going to promote your thing. It's been disapproved because we do not allow the sale of weapons, knives, guns, BB guns, da 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 da. I'm like, wait a second. Obviously, no one looked at the post. Because I wasn't selling a fucking thing. That was their thing. Yeah, it's such a big change. I was like, wait a second. You're going to tell me that you're disapproving my post for being promoted because you don't want me selling guns, knives, BB guns, slingshots, daggers, any weapons. And I'm like, well, first of all, knives are not weapons, they're tools. We've went through this before. A weapon has one distinct, stop chewing your feet, fucking dog. One distinct purpose, and that's to take a life. I can do a lot of things with this, up to and including taking a life, but that does not make it a weapon, because a weapon, you can't use it for anything else. I can use this for a lot of shit, because I got news for you. An empty handgun is a very, very shitty hammer. So I sent him a post, and I was like, here's the thing. You're running ads for a mail-in sharpening service on your platform. You're running full ads, not like the shop now, and selling sharpening tools with the shop now thing. So you're telling me that you're going to approve that, but because they're a bigger company, you're going to approve it, but you're not going to approve mine. I was like, you're already running ads for exactly the same thing. I've sent knives and sharpened knives for chefs and cooks all over the country. And I sent it in, and within seconds, they were like, oh, hey, we're sorry. You got to call them on this shit, guys. I'm not saying that, like I said, I don't agree with Facebook is not a platform for free speech. It is a privately owned entity, and just like me monitoring and moderating my comments, they are allowed to do that. But I also do not agree with biased business practices. That's where I think they got nervous, because I was calling them out on a biased business practice. Oh, you'll let these guys run an ad, but you're not gonna let me? Because I'm a small business? I'll sue your ass. I don't fucking care. I'll sue Facebook. Not for censorship, but biased business practices. Sometimes you gotta shake them up a little bit. I don't think it'd ever work again. I think they're gonna come up with some new one where they're like, we don't, and take all those ads down, but they'll lose revenue. It is stupid. Biased business practices is way worse, in my opinion. Like squeezing a smaller business out of the mix I think that's worse than what people are talking about they have this feeling that they're being censored because they think this is a free speech platform, which, like I said, once again, is not. What's up, Matt? Guys, if you subscribed to the gaming channel, hit the bell, because I did a 2-hour live feed. There was 2 kids, one kid from Ohio and one kid from here in California, and Taz. That was it. There's 3 people on that feed. It's gonna be a lot more fun for me to play video games if you guys tell me what you want me to do and go in and comment and shit like that. It was fun, don't get me wrong. I was playing a video game, it was fun. It was great, it was fun. Oh, you're not gonna be able to, sis, but you can watch it later. Keith Williams, I'm gonna have my CrossFit sharpened by you tips to keep it nice. Wait, what's your name again? Wait a second. Keith Williams. Whose knife is this? No, this is Jeff Riegelman's knife. I was gonna say, because I just brought a crux back from Chris and Elliot's that I have to sharpen, which I've already sharpened this once. Nope, that's Elliot's edge. Never mind. I can tell. Elliot's edges are distinctly different. They're great, but they are distinctly different. It's not a factory edge. Crux. EAF. Elliot's Apocalyptic finish in cerulean. So yeah, no, I won one against how to keep it mirrored. Well, it depends on what you're cutting. What's up, Zach? It depends on what you're cutting. Zach, your knives went out yesterday, by the way. And I do believe, I was gonna send the tools with it, and I do believe I forgot them. Yeah, they're still here. I will, next time we do something, I'll send these back to you. I don't think you're gonna be able to get that out with, I think you would have to heat that knife up so much to break that Loctite that it's gonna damage the aluminum. So, anyway, I was getting ready to say something. How to keep it mirrored. If you're cutting a lot of abrasive stuff, cardboard and things like that, it's going to lose its polish. But if you've got a good strop, and I don't mean just like a leather strop. You can use a leather strop, that works. But I always recommend those balsa wood strops. And I don't like the lockup on that knife, Zach. I'll get to that in a second. The balsa wood strops with the diamond matrix that I use work really, really well. They don't burnish your edge off, because what happens is a lot of people use leather and they put chromium oxide on it, and then they just keep using it, and they let the chromium oxide break down and get all black, and then that's not actually cutting and maintaining your polish, because you don't want just the polish. You want the polish and the cutting power. I could strop that until it's mirror polished, which it is, but then it wouldn't cut anything, because I basically just smoothed that edge out. Overstropping is a thing. I'm going to talk about that. My friend Ashton, he admits that he's overstropped stuff. You can ruin an edge by overstropping or not stropping properly. So the stuff that I use I use the 10 karat American handmade, or US handmade is what it is. They sell it on they sell the spray on Wicked Edge's website. And for whatever you guys be using, I would say 1 micron on a balsa wood strop. So a piece of balsa wood on a piece of pine. I've done a lot of videos about them. I just made made a top for that one out there. They work great. And instead of just having just something that's polishing and not maintaining your striatia, stria, if you're stropping it right, you wind up you with that you're polishing, and technically it's like a fucking 20,000 grit sharpening stone. It basically is like a 20,000, 30,000 grit sharpening stone, depending on where you're going. 1 micron, half micron. Half micron I use for straight razors. I do use them on knives, but usually it depends on how it looks. Certain steels want to go down to half micron, which is 30,000 grit. So if you're stropping it on something that's going to maintain that, yeah, it'll keep its edge and it will keep its polish. But eventually it's going to get dull and it's going to get scratched. You're going to cut something that's abrasive enough that it puts scratches in it. So I never really worry about it. The aesthetics of that edge are not necessarily what I'm going for. People always ask me, why do you take edges up so far? Like this is, I think this is an 8,000 grit. I think and I feel that these edges, if done properly and maintain their tooth, because that is going to bite you. That is not one of those really slick mirrored edges that you see people getting that it just doesn't want to cut anything. This bites into stuff and it cuts. I get a feel from it, and it just feels like, 1, it slides through the material better, and 2, there's less there's less coarseness to the edge, and therefore the abrasiveness of the material you're cutting has a tendency to not dull your knife as easily. It's finer. It wasn't a contest. It's not, okay, Zach, it's already the stonefish. I had to have that answer to them by 9 o'clock yesterday night, like last night. And the thing is, let me throw this out there for you. If we ever do this again, these are the constraints. Every knife I make is named after a venomous creature, not a poisonous thing. Venomous, if it bites you, you get sick. Poisonous, if you bite it, you get sick. Difference. I'm not gonna name it after plants, Wolf's Bane and stuff like that. It's a cool name, but every other knife I've ever made has either been named after a snake or an insect or an arthropod that are venomous. So I probably should have been more clear about it when I was talking about it. It is a good name. It's a really good name. It's just not the name that I'm going to use. If you want to use my knives, I want to use a mirror edge. It's hard to use. I have one Safe Queen. I've got one Safe Queen. It is the Fortis that Nico gave me, and that's only because I can't duplicate the blade finish. It's the original finish from Ferrum Forge, and it was done in a different tumble medium that is no longer available. It was done by an outside company, and it took like a week to get it tumbled. And so that is the only knife that I still carry it. Don't get me wrong. I still carry it, but I don't use it. The Platypus, the Loris, they're perfect. I know, but I'd be the laughing stock if I can. I'll tell you who is good at names. You know who's good at names is Elijah Isham. If you guys remember, I sharpened those daggers. And it took me forever to remember and realize what he had done. It is the Sosei. That's the name of the Sosei. Made by Kaiser. It's the Kaiser Sosei. I was like, oh my God, it's the first person I reached out before I ever started the video yesterday was I texted, how long have we been on here? 17 minutes. I have things that I am going to do today. So we're not going to, this isn't going to be a long live feed. There's going to be videos probably go up today. So this is just your fix. I just want to let you guys know that no, those are not. But at any rate, I reached out to him and was like, hey, I need a name. He goes, oh, think about it. And then he got busy and we didn't get it out in time. But Stonefish is one of the two most venomous fish in the world. They kill people. Yeah, my sister's birthday is tomorrow, and I haven't got her anything for her birthday. But I thought about it. So, they always say it's the thought that counts. So, here's the thing. She's going to make her birthday dinner. And you know why? Because I love my mother, and I like my brother-in-law. I can't say I love him. He drives me nuts sometimes with silly shit. But if she wants a birthday, exactly. If she wants a birthday dinner the way she wants it, she knows she's got to fucking cook it or tell them where to order it from. Like, look, shut the fuck up. This is what I want for dinner. This is where I want it from. This is what time you order it. This is what time your fucking stoner ass has got to go pick it up. Yeah, we're both born in August. This is what time your stoner ass has got to go pick it up. And this is how fast you have to drive to get it back here before it gets cold. You fuck this up, I'm going to kill you. That's my sister. How was that? Was that a good, was that a good impersonation? That's my Sarah Emler impersonation. Pretty accurate, isn't it? Oh, God. Oh, God. Hide the guns. Two of my guns are coming back out here with my mother in September. I just don't know how I'm gonna fit them in a fucking gun case. I ain't got no room. I already got 5 guns in the pistol case part of that fucking thing. That 44 Magnum isn't gonna allow me to fit 2 more 45s in there. It's just not gonna work, I don't think. I'm thinking it's gonna be a bad deal. So, but yeah, that's my sister in a nutshell. She is a food snob, but she's a fucking excellent cook. I think when my grandmother died, I think my grandmother possessed her and turned her into a cook. My sister can fucking throw down in the kitchen. I would put bragging about you if you're still here, sis. I would put my sister against almost any fucking chef or cook working in the restaurant industry. See? I don't even know what that means. Not joking. Not at all joking. She should be a prep chef somewhere, prep cook. She should be cooking for people besides my mother and my brother-in-law. Because I love my mother, but she has not got the most discerning palate. Would that be the word I would use? I can cook pretty well too. I'm no slouch, but you'd be amazed at what you find when you start doing something you love as a living. Yeah, see? Well, the problem is we live about 16 miles outside of the middle. And I don't mean the middle of the country. I mean the middle of nowhere, about 15 minutes outside of there. And there's not much in the way of internet. Well, it might be better now, but it would be really hard for her to be able to do all of that. Plus, she has some crippling social fucking phobias. And I'm not laughing at you. It's just one of those things. Like that's one of those things. She has a severe crippling phobia. That's why she's still at home, not picking. It's a real thing. So, guys, 17 people, only 7 likes. This is a good one. Anyway, so these are available. Back to the reason of the whole video. I almost cut myself. Agoraphobia, yay. Well, yeah, I mean, you take care of mom, but I got news for you, sis. We say that, but that old lady can take care of herself. She just likes being taken care of. I get it. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, these are coming available. No notification. Yeah, you got to check your... Okay, let's talk about this first, then we're going to talk about notifications, and then I'm done. This is going to be available. G10 handles, not carbon fiber, too slippery. Too slippery. I know that's attractive, but... I'm getting notifications. I know it's attractive, but it's not, for this knife, that's not how it was meant to be. I'm sorry, it's not supposed to be real pretty. It's supposed to be real functional, which it is. The handles are a little thicker, and they're in G10, black, tan, and green. So, now, I am not going to lie to you. This is an okay sheath. But it has some, over time now, it has gotten a little bit like I would be, if military guy, I would not want that sheath. I would send it, not trying to shill for Matt or anything. The retention on Matt's sheaths are amazing. They're a little bit thinner profile, and they have soft loops. They're a little wider here, but the whole thing is the retention is incredible. So this is all available. It's got, the other thing too is, like, if you're a military guy and you want to carry this, because that's kind of what I designed it for, multiple points, you can attach that differently. You can set it up so you can have it done differently. You can have it on your gear differently. So the sheaths that Matt makes are amazing. They're great. Affordable. I think these are like, I think a sheath for this knife is like $20. handmade. You send it to him in Florida, and he sends them out. I want to do a video. I want to get Matt to just send me some video that I can keep, and just like he can explain it. So my sister's telling me what she was talking about. I do know what it meant. I took French. I know it's cooked in wine. So anyway, I want to get with Matt because these sheaths just are so much more. There's nothing. I mean, listen to it pop in. And the Kydex is different. It's thicker, and a lot of times he can. Let's flip it. A lot of times he uses. Oh, that's not good. He uses this Rhino. Oh, fuck! God damn it! He uses that textured Kydex, and it's great. I mean, it's everything about this is a great sheath. So I talk to Matt pretty regular. I like Matt enough. I made him a neck knife for him with his company's logo on it, just because I like him. So neck knife went off. There is a neck knife. There is a neck knife that's going to be up on Cerberus Knives before too long. I just sent it out yesterday. They're going to raffle off one of my neck knives. So it was just something I thought it would be cool. And like we said, next week I'm going up there. Hopefully Wednesday I'm going up there to film some video. If things don't get crazy and hectic around here. I was able to, what's the blade finish on the production model? It's probably going to be the same finish as that fine stone wash that they did on this one. I liked it. I didn't say I wanted to change anything on it, but they are going to be in 20 CV, not S90V. So this is not like, I told them, like, they have their fixed blades and not S35VN, I mean. So this is going to be it's going to be in 20 CV, which is the same thing I make mine in. Same. I was talking to them. They have. We has used it on some of Elliot's knives that he had made. The most recently that I can think of is the 702, which was that integral. That's an M390, which is 20 CV, same thing. Elliot has the Archbishop 2.0 that was in 20 CV, because M390 is hard to come by. Bowler had a big fire, and so they did this in S35VN. And then I told him, I was like, look, this is not, I don't want this to be, and I didn't want to be there. Well, they were able to get some because Bowler had that fire and now it's not available. It's the same thing though. 20 CV and M390 it's basically the same thing. So this, shit, my stream's breaking up. Is anyone else having problems with it? Or is it Zachary having problems with it? Yep, okay, I'll go in here. Yes, okay, give me Wi-Fi network. Be right back. 1 second. There you go. Yeah, they're chemically equivalent. So that's what I was saying. I mean, I think this might be the first knife that they've done in 20 CV. It's a good possibility that my knife might be the first one. So back to what I was saying, I told them, I was like, I didn't want to be insulting, but I was like, you guys have other fixed blades, like 3 of them. And they're like variations of the same model. And I was like, I don't want this to sound insulting, but this is a high-end, this should be a higher-end fixed blade because of what it was designed to do. And explained it to him, and I told him, I want it in a quality steel. I want it to be as close, I want this to be as close of a representation of what I make in-house as possible. So we did add some things. It's still the same? It shouldn't be. Is everybody else still having buffering and all that shit? Okay, so it's better for everybody, or is it still the same? Okay, so Zach, it must be yours. I forget what I was saying. Oh, yeah, I want it to be the same. It's almost identical. The handles are a little bit different. There's jimping here, and this finger choil is just a little bit different. So where do you get one? You're gonna have to wait till the vendors come out with them. They were released to vendors last night. Like I said, I got a picture from a friend who is a purchaser at a vendor, a large knife retailer. And he sent me, yes, Wee's making it. He sent me the vendors list. I don't know. Guys, I've told you guys a bunch of times, I'm hands off with this. The only thing I did was I approved the design, I approved the prototypes, and I'm waiting on the production samples, the actual ones in 20 CV. They're doing marketing, they're doing the sales, they're doing the pricing. I don't have a fucking clue. Don't ask me. Yeah, I was like, I'm just saying, I've said it a bunch of times. So I can't give you information I don't have. The only other difference is the stock thickness on this is about maybe half a millimeter or a millimeter thinner. I'd have to do the math. I could, but it's 1 o'clock in the morning in China right now. Yeah, I got my watch. I have China time on my watch because I have to figure out when I'm going to talk to them and stuff like that. And it's been a couple days. I didn't get any sleep the first night because I was talking with them back and forth, and we were discussing the fact that they didn't think it was going to work. And I was like, well, you know, other companies have had knives that have names that are similar. And then they came back and they're like, yeah, but here's the thing. Best Tech is a company that will say something. I was like, what? I was like, Best Tech is not that great a company. 2.4 here. Huh? 2 minutes and 48 here. What? I don't. Matt, I'm lost. It's 2:48 there. 2:48 in the morning. Yeah. Gotcha. I haven't slept in 2 days. So, okay. Notifications. Here we go. Notifications. This is the end because I'm already 2 minutes past where I wanted to be because I do have other stuff I'm going to do today. I have to pay my mortgage today. That fucking sucks. At least I made the mortgage this time. You have to, okay, so yeah, you have the bell. So if you guys are not receiving notifications on either one of the channels, go to the actual notification setting, click the bell, and see on a computer. You can't do it from a phone. Go to a computer, hit the bell, and choose all notifications, because I think part of the problem is, at this point, I have to agree with YouTube. I read you guys the email I sent. I had an actual advisor on the phone. And we went through my settings, and she's like, here's the thing. You've got all your settings set up. And she's like, people are getting notifications. He's like, those people that are not getting notifications consistently need to go to a computer and hit the bell and select all, because they're not going to get it. She's like, the algorithm will pick and choose what things they watch normally when they're not watching you, because I only do, so people watch a bunch of other stuff, and it picks and chooses what you're gonna get notifications from. So that being said, if you're having problems with the notifications, go and check your notification settings on a computer that you're getting notifications. Do the same thing if you want. You can do the same thing for the Grumpy Old Guy Gaming, because I have it set up for notifications. The dog's having a dream. Let's see, watch this. This is great. Oh, now she stopped. She was barking. Oh, she goes. She does it all the time. Where? Nico's here? Where's Nico? Where's my, ooh, I sat right on my knife case and spilled my coffee. That hurt. That really hurt. That thing's not soft. So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so if, like I said, if you're not getting the notifications you want, that's what you're gonna have to do. The thing is, please get some sleep. Hey, what's up, Ashton? No, that's what I was just telling everybody, Jeremy. I have nothing to do with that. It's not available to the general public yet. It's available to dealers. The dealers will be able to see the price. Not me. I haven't, like, you go on our website, it's not available. It's on a vendor's list of things they can purchase. So I talked to Andy at NowPack. I was like, hey, I don't know if you're interested in it. It's coming out of Wii. I have the vendor list. I do have the vendor list. I got a picture of it, so I know what the stock numbers are for it. I said, if you're interested in purchasing them, I just let you know. Hey, Nico! This has got a significant nick in it. I did some fucking around with this thing. I was checking to see how this felt. Remember I talked about I don't do knife cut tests on video because I think it gives the wrong perception that it's a valid test. So what I do is I do cutting off camera to see, like, how's it feel and stuff like that. Well, I had a great big piece of cardboard and it had a piece of metal in it that was inside. And there is a very distinct spot right here. I think it's a cool name. I think it gets your attention. Stonefish. Hornet. Stonefish. And then people are going to be curious, what's stonefish? And then they'll start sharing my fascination with venomous creatures. I love learning about venomous creatures. Yeah, I'm going to go up to Cerberus Knives probably Wednesday unless, I have a bunch of stuff coming. If nothing changes, I'm planning on going there. So, actually, you know what? We can stick around for a few more minutes since people are still showing up. Ashton's here. Ashton, I shot a video about the Voyager you gave me, which is not in my pocket right now. I shot a video about it and needed to do the edit, but I needed to save room on my phone for something else because I wasn't completely done. I tried to bring everything back and it came in all corrupted, and so I still have to I might have to refilm it because it wouldn't take, it was all pixelated and shit like that. That's all right, it won't take me all. I remember what I was saying the first time. And then, guys, I would like to, like, Phil, I said it in the live feed, Phil D, one of my subscribers, sent me this as a birthday present because I was talking about in a live feed that I always wanted a Spyderco Endura in ZDP 189, and when I had the money, they were never available, and now I don't have the money, and they're all over the place, and it's a reduced price drop and stuff like that. And Monday, I open up my mailbox, and there's a package, and I was like, what's this? And it was from Phil, and I'm like, did Phil and I agree that we were going to do something? I don't remember. And I'm looking, and I opened it up, and in here is ZDP 189 Endura British Racing Green, the one I always wanted, with a note saying happy birthday. So I would like to say thank you very much to Phil. My birthday is the 30th of this month, and that confused everybody when I was saying that he'd done. I said it in a live feed that he had sent this, but this is great. This is great. I love the Endura model, and now it's in a steel. I really, really love ZDP 189. So, I'll give you guys 2 more minutes. Anybody got any more questions that I might be able to find out answers to besides pricing and date of actual availability? You guys are on a cardboard box, and when I bump it, did I sharpen what yet? Of course I sharpened it. It had chips in it. It had been carried. He told me specifically it was not brand new. And so I cut a choil in it. I cut a sharpening notch in it, and I sharpened it. And this is only sharpened to 600 grit. So you guys that think that all of my knives are like fucking 8, 10, 12,000 grit. Who's on the vendor list? I don't know. I know people that work. Yes, and I'm doing a video about that. It is still for sale. I have somebody that might be interested in it, so it might become a bidding war. because they're thinking of it as well. So I'm going to talk to them. But yeah, if you're still interested in it, I didn't sharpen it, so I wasn't planning on sharpening it. It is not that sharp, but I wasn't planning on sharpening it for free. So that would be an additional cost. Whoever decides they want it, if I'm selling it for Nico, I wish we could keep it. That thing is one of two. There's only two of those. No, I saw the list that went out to vendors of knives that were available. I didn't see the list of vendors. I saw Wee's, this is what's available today, stock list with the stock numbers. So I don't know who the vendors are. I know one of the vendors, one of the purchasers at a vendor, at a distribution company, but I'm not going to tell you because that's who sent it to me. I'm not going to call them out. So that's who sent it. 600 grit ZDP 80. Yeah, it's real aggressive, really, really aggressive. You don't want to make, like, you can touch it and feel, oh, that's sharp. You would not want to make any movement, or it's going to bite you. You'd be like, if you touch it and you move your finger at all, it's gonna cut you. I already cut myself twice. That one, can't really see that one. I definitely cut myself with this twice already. It's a biter. She's a biter. Because it's so thin, it's full flat grind. Full flat grind, I've only ever had one other Endura that was a full flat grind, and I got rid of it real quick because I didn't like it. It had so much play. So much play in it. And I was like, I don't like it. And I warned the guy I was selling it to. I was like, hey, the reason I'm selling it is because it just doesn't feel right. And the lock bar, where the lock bar and the blade met, they were off center. So like they met in the middle. Like this was kicked over and then the blade was kicked over. And I took it apart and I did everything I could to line that up, and it just didn't. And so when that key would drop in, it just had so much play. I was like, I told the guy, I was like, at this point, I can't send it back. So, night, Matt. So, yeah. All right, guys. I think we should probably call it a day. Like I said, I don't know when they're going to start hitting shelves of dealers, but I know that the dealers, the vendors, the purchasers are able to see it now. So, like I said, I have a list, and I sent it to Andy over at NowPack. Yeah, I sharpened the sigil. It's sharp. That's what I was saying. Okay, so Zach, your sigil. I noticed it when you sent. The lockup feels really gritty. It locks up good, but it's got lock stick, and I can't fix it without being able to take it apart. So I'd recommend making sure you don't have any lubricant on the lock tang of the blade. And if you do, I would soak that area as well as you can, because I did lubricate it because I couldn't clean it out because I couldn't take it apart. So it's got grit and stuff in it, and I tried to minimize it. The action feels good. It's the lockup. The lockup feels really gritty, and I tried everything I could do on my side to take care of it. So I would recommend, if it's still doing that, try and just clean that lock tang and the lock bar insert face, the actual lock face, as best you can. You might have to use like a little bit of spray solvent or a drop of alcohol, get it in there and see if you can wash it down. I couldn't. God, that knife, I've never had a knife that I could not get apart. And Elliot was like, bro, you can't get that apart. And I was like, man, I can't get it. That pivot will not come out. All the other screws I could get out except the pivot. And he's like, all right. He's like, maybe you don't. He's like, yeah, you talk about the fact you've had several shoulder surgeries and you got nerve damage. He's like, maybe you just don't have enough. And I was like, bro, come on. I've put wheels on the grinder so tight that your brother came out and was like, which one of you fuckers put that thing on there? Come get it off. And Elliot was like, that's all you, bro. I haven't used the grinder. He's like, yeah, you're right. And so we both tried, and oh my God, we destroyed the pivot tool. We ate the pivot tool up. And he goes, one, I don't know what that pivot tool, he's like, I don't know what that pivot screw's made of. He's like, and two, he's like, I want to know what the fuck Loctite they're using. We heated it up. We put the pivot tool on it and smacked it with a hammer, hoping that we could break that loose. We cranked it both ways, thinking, I was like, maybe it is just reverse threaded. Maybe that's it. And Elliot's like, nope. He's like, I tried that. We put it on a good soft piece of rubber that had some grooves in it so we could get some downward pressure. I held the knife. Elliot turned and tried both ways, and he goes, that thing ain't coming out. He's like, it's not gonna happen, brother. And I was like, he's like, if you and I can't get that fucking thing apart, he's like, it ain't coming apart. He's like, if you send that back to Microtech, he's like, they're gonna have to fucking make a new knife. I was like, he's like, that ain't coming out. I soaked it in acetone. Hoping I could break that, like get some down in and eat up that fucking Loctite. I was like, I don't know what the fuck they used. Fucking industrial, JB Weld. Maybe they're using JB Weld now. Holy shit balls. Couldn't do it from the other side. It's got a shield over it, and the shield won't come off because the pivot screws in. And you're like, what the fuck? I've never been that upset in a long time. So very upset. I was like, holy shit, guys. So yeah, that's the first knife. Like Elliot was like, there's no reason that this should be that hard. This just doesn't cut the way I want it to yet, though. Well, here's the thing. The last couple Microtechs people have asked me to do, it gets harder and harder every time you get a Microtech, because I lucked out. My DOC is really easy to get apart back together. The last couple I've done has just been, later, Zachary. The last couple I've done have just been really, really, really painful. except for like the Ultratech, when I did my Ultratech video. That knife is not that hard to take apart. I think I'm gonna go back and do this again, mainly because it just doesn't cut the way I want. So, yeah, 22 people. Thanks, Zach. 22 people here, only 13 likes. So, that'd be cool. Something else I was going to tell you guys. I don't remember. Oh, so my mother's going to be here next month. So, there's probably going to be limited content because we are going to try and do things with her. And if I get a boon to the business, if things happen and things kick off and things get better, I am going to take my daughter to Disneyland while she's here. I want to take my mother and my daughter to Disneyland. Maybe both. Dude, this S35VN is amazing. I love Wii's S35. It cuts so well. I really do. Oh my God, it's fucking terrifying. Nope, that's it, guys. There was something else. I forgot. Oh. 16. There's going to be probably a home renovation video. I have to refinish the bathtub. I got the special paint you need, the bathtub, the Part A, Part B epoxy paint. I have the tape. I'm waiting on one more thing. There was a damaged can, so they're sending me a new thing of the paint because the one can had leaked and was almost empty. So I have to wait on the paint to come. I had it, but so Peter's a derp, not a dick. Where's Peter? Is Peter here? Is Peter here? Did Peter say something? I missed it? That's a good look right there. Peter is a derp. What did I miss? Are you guys having a side conversation? I mean, no, I give you guys sharpening tips. So yeah, you can. But the fact is, people are like, oh, you're gonna go out of business by showing people these tips. And I was like, here's the thing. I have taken years. I've taken years to get to this, where it's consistent. So I'm not real concerned about it because guys are going to get knives and they're going to practice and they're going to, well, Mike does it this way and they're going to try it. And to do it the way I do it is dangerous. I'm not gonna lie, I've cut myself several times. This was a good one. But the fact is, I've gotten to a point where I can't do it any other way than the way I do it now. And the fact is that my edges are gonna be way different than you guys' edges. They're gonna be way more consistent. That's why there's companies, knife companies, that have talked to me about sharpening. So a fixtured system can only get you so far. There's stuff that I can do that other people can't, that people that use a fixture can't do. For a shmoo with a Lansky, I don't like the Lansky. The Lansky is my least favorite of fixtured systems. And I know this because I had one and I tried using it. And I'm like, I don't like this. The way that their guide system is, their little lock pin, it slips. That little wing nut slips and your pin moves up and down. And you're not going to maintain a consistent angle. And so if you're sharpening a knife with a Lansky, my recommendation is to get a better system. But the flip side is, like, people are like, well, Jesus, it cost me $25 to get a knife sharpened by you, and then I got to do shipping and handling. I'm like, wait. I've put it out a bunch of times. People lose their mind and flip out. They're like, fuck, I got to pay shipping and handling on top of $25 sharpening your knife. I was like, yeah. Well, you mean to pay fucking $7 of the $25 that I'm making to sharpen your knife? But you have an option. I tell everybody all the time, you have an option. Buy a prepaid shipping label, put it in the box, and I don't have to worry about the handling. I don't have to go print something on my computer. I don't have to write something out. I don't have to drive to the post office. I just wait on the postman to show up and go, hey, Ron, can you grab those? Already paid. As a single person operating a small business, every minute of my day either makes me money or costs me money. You know what costs me money? Playing a video game. You know what costs me money? Sleeping. You know what costs me money? Eating. Anything I'm doing that's not actively making money is costing me money. Just being in this house cost me $1,780 a month. To have this house in this HOA cost me another $320 a month. You put that together, you do the math. Every minute of my day can be looked at as either making money or using money. And to then question why I'm doing that, I'm really upset about that. I had a guy flip out and like, that's bullshit. I'll find somebody who can do what I want, not get charged up the ass and then pay shipping. I was like, fine, go ahead. When was the last time you sent a knife back for warranty and didn't have to give them $30 for return shipping? 30. I charge an additional $5. If it goes at a small flat rate box, I add 5 to the 7. No, I'm sorry. I rounded it up because now I rounded it to 8. What did I figure it out? It's $15. $15 return shipping and handling. Yeah. But these wage slaves, they don't look at life that way because their life is structured and things like that. Yeah, CRK, yeah, for return shipping, $17, minus 15. I only charge 15 for return shipping because I have to pack it up. I have to put the label on it. I got to seal it. I'm spending money on tape. I'm spending time where I'm not actively making money. And then I have to get in my car and drive to the post office because at this point, it doesn't make sense for me to buy a printer and then I've got consumables that I have to deal with. So to alleviate that, I offer everyone the opportunity to provide a prepaid shipping label. And then shipping and handling is free. That $25 thing, you just paid $7 return shipping, stuck it in the thing, sent it back. I can put it in the box out there and leave it for the postman. He knows where I put it. I have a box. I have one of the postal boxes. Or I can put it in the drop box around the corner, which is like on my way to walk the dog. But people get bent on what I'm charging for shipping and handling. So Dwayne Smotherman has said numerous times that he has a wicked edge, and he has used it. And he said, I don't know what it is about your edge. He says, it feels sharper, it cuts better, and it lasts longer. He said, I could do it on a wicked edge, but he's like, fuck, it lasts so much longer. He's like, I don't use, Dwayne sends me all kinds of stuff to sharpen. Nico had a Viper Sharp at one time and did it, sharpen his own stuff for a while, or tried. And I don't know, Nico, what do you think lasts longer? An edge that you did on a machine, or? Hang on a second. I'm gonna have to talk to you about this after. Give me about 5 minutes and I'll call you back, because I wanted to talk to you about Sarah's birthday, and she has a tendency to be on my live feeds. All right, love you. Bye. I tried and failed miserably, so I can really say there was a difference. Somebody said something else. What is this here? My Code 4 came razor sharp, actually cut myself so damn sharp, but didn't last long. I assume your edge. Okay. I did a video about this, Mark, but I will give you a quick rundown of why that is. My edges are really fine and tight, so the striations are really close together and there's not any gaps in between. So, maker's mark on my stonefish is gonna be right there. There's my maker's mark. So, what happens with a factory edge, it's really coarse, probably around 220, maybe 400 grit, not real refined. So you get these really deep gouges, and there's big gaps in between. So this is a point, and this is a point, and then there's a valley in between. But then they're not completely lined up. So what happens is they start to break off. And you got an edge that's got all these little chips all over the place that are inconsistent. And then your edge looks like that, and then it doesn't want to cut because they peel off, because they've got these big grooves and big peaks. As you look down at it, it looks like peaks and grooves. It would look like if you're looking down a record. And so as you cut with that, it grabs those really cool. I mean, they bite. Wee's fucking factory edges are incredibly good, but they don't last that long. Spyderco's are not as good. And so as you're using it, the amount of material in between them being so much thinner, it allows it to break. I don't remember. I've got 700, Mark, asking me what video is impossible. I have 750 videos up. I have no clue which one it is. It's in there somewhere where I talked about factory edges. I just don't have that kind of time. That's spending money time. I'm spending money right now. Well, not really. I consider this yellow time, but it breaks off. It breaks off. Yeah, you're late. You're gonna have to start all over. It breaks off. Now, when you have a finer edge where your striations are tighter together and there's not those big gaps like that, it has a tendency to stay cleaner, straighter, truer, and then you just get a little deflection at the very apex as opposed to all the way down here. That's why factory edges don't last that long. Plus, you also have to think there might be a little compromising of the material because they're doing it on a machine that generates heat. So those knives could have like a really good edge when they come from the factory, but not last long. And then the first time you sharpen, you peel it back to a point where there's not been any heat dissolution in the steel. I'm gonna do a video about heat treat and explain how that works and why when you overheat an edge on a grinder and things like that, you will fuck up your edge. Which is why I fucking absolutely, positively tell people, whatever you do, don't buy that fucking powered work sharp. My dad bought one, used it twice, threw it away. I was like, why didn't you try and sell it to somebody? He goes, I'm not fucking letting somebody else ruin their good knives. He's like, I ruined one of your mom's really good kitchen knives with that fucking thing. So it generated enough heat that he burned the temper at the very apex and had to turn around with that knife and go back and resharpen it. He goes, and it's not a fucking good edge. He's like, boy, that time you sharpened, he's like, son, that time you sharpened all those fucking kitchen knives for your mother, he's like, those lasted forever and they were terrifying. He's like, I thought I'd get it with work sharp. That's the thing, my dad was okay at sharpening, but nowhere near. I learned from him and I took things. Who was really good was my mom's father, my grandfather, my dad's father-in-law. Amazing, terrifying knives. Fucking stupid sharp. And that's who I took the most from. And then after that, it was my father-in-law. I refined things by learning how to use water stones and some of the Japanese techniques. And then I taught myself the convex edge. But yeah, that work sharp, steer the fuck away from it. It is, Well, first of all, one side is going to give you the cutting motion you want, where you're going against the steel. And then the other side, when you flip it to the other side, the belt's going the other way. So those edges aren't going to be the same. They're going to have a different consistency to them based on the direction of the, but you always want to have that blade coming down as much as you can, to have it coming down against the steel as opposed to coming up against the steel, because what happens is it rolls that material way more over, and it causes inconsistency to the edge. So stay the fuck away from a work sharp, in my opinion. Not to fucking get sued, but that's what I think. Yes, it's the stonefish. It's gonna be the stonefish. So if you want to get a system to sharpen with, the top one I would say is a toss-up between the KME, I just wish it had bigger stones, the KME or that Russian one. I can't think of what it is. It's the big one that's like an Edge Pro. It's like a KME on fucking steroids. After that would be the Edge Pro Apex. It's got its own laundry list of issues. I have one. I'm actually probably gonna sell that thing. The Viper, I don't like the Viper. Their stones are shitty. As much as the guy seems like a nice guy, he's reached out to me a couple times, we've talked. The stones are garbage. They were shitty, the one that Nico had, and they're really small. I think the Russian ones are really expensive. That's why I said the KME is the budget one. But the stones on the KME are really short. Then after the KME is the Edge Pro. The Edge Pros got some issues. And the one that is right after that, as much as I hate it, Tormac, I don't like the Tormac. It's too Hapstone, yeah. Yes, exactly, and that's why I like that is what it is, the Hapstone R1. So after, and this is why Wicked Edge is at the bottom, and I'm gonna explain it again. I did a video about it. Yeah, it's probably the best of the fixtured systems out there, but you're gonna run into the same problems you run with the other ones, where there's things you just cannot do. So after that would be the Lansky, even though I noted and told you the stones are shitty, the stones are small, and the fucking fixtures, at the very bottom of the list of non-powered systems is, the non-powered systems is the Wicked Edge. And only, it's not that it's not a good system, it's just the way that you have to do it. So you would have to put your stones up and go like this, but that's not how they teach people to do it. They teach people to get that knife like that, and then they get the stones and they just go like this. So what you're doing is you're rubbing your stone this way as opposed to this way. I did a whole video about it. It popped up in my feed while I was laying on the bed, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. It was when I first started to grow my hair out. And it's, instead of having your striations that come like this, they go like this, because that's the direction that you're moving the stone, as opposed to moving the stone this way. No, Bruce, it is not. It is to, the vending list went out to dealers. So I don't know who all is going to have it. I would imagine there's going to be a couple on Smoky Mountain Knife Works. There might be a couple on Nowpack. Most of them will probably wind up going to Blade HQ, Blade Center, or Knife Center. But then at the bottom of my list, on the other side, for powered systems, I don't like any of them. The Tormac is too single-dimensional. You can only get 2 grits. This is the prototype. It's going to look different. It's not going to have carbon fiber handles. And it's going to be in a different steel than the prototype was. So in powered systems, Tormac is probably the better of the two. And then right after it being horrible is the Work Sharp, which I would not. Don't know. Guys, I am completely, said once again, I am completely hands off with this. The only thing I'm doing is approving the design and I approved the prototypes, and they're sending me production samples because I don't own a single one of my Hornets. Except the prototype. So, like I said, I don't like the Tormac. It's one directional. You can't do recurves. You can't do Tontos the way you want. It's just, it is too one-dimensional. If I was simply sharpening kitchen knives at a factory, I would probably say, yeah, the Tormac's a great, great system. It's well thought out. It's well done. It runs real slow. It's more like the old Kickstone that you'd see in the videos, the guy with the great big wheel and it runs through water and he's just kicking that pedal to spin the wheel and he's sharpening and stuff on it. Still, I don't think that there's anything out there that duplicates freehand sharpening. Period. You get kind of close on a couple things, but you just can't, you can't duplicate what you do. I'll get with you, Ashton. You can't. You can't burn the edges, but you also have got a stone that's that wide, and there's no way to do recurves. There's no real good way to do Tontos. There's a lot of limitations to that system. Setup, space requirement, all that shit is spending money as opposed to making money. Right now, I can go out and wet a stone and sharpen a knife, be done in 20 minutes. I can take a knife that's fucked and sharpen it in 20 minutes. You could flatten your stone. You could flatten that knife on that. You would just have not to use the fixture. You just have to freehand it like you were grinding on a grinder and thin that. You just have to maintain a good angle. It'd wind up being hollowed, but you could thin it. It'd be a lot like grinding a knife on a very, 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 very slow grinder. So anyway, guys, I have to get off of here. I said I was gonna do 30 minutes and it's been 60. I gotta go, there's somebody at the door. I think I just had a delivery. Oh, my back hurts. See ya. Yep, I got my Amazon delivery. Later, guys.